we are looking at the subject and the object. I feel really sunny here with my booty. Subject and the object within a sentence, okay? So at home, you're not going to have this PowerPoint because it's interactive, and when we save it for you at home, it won't be interactive and it won't make sense. So you need to watch along here. So what are subjects and objects? Can you write a definition of what a subject and an object is? You don't have to write it. Can you tell me what you think a subject is? Of a sentence.
A subject is basically math and English or something.
So math and English be a subject, but what about a sentence? What's the subject of a sentence?
What's it about?
Okay, what's the object then?
It's like a thing.
Yes, an object's a thing. So what's the difference between a subject and an object? It's hard, isn't it? Right, let's keep watching. I love the fact my board is not interactive. Right, is it not going to? I don't want to skip a page. Oh, there we go. So the subject is the person, noun, phrase. Do you know what a noun phrase is? Think about it. Noun is a person, place or thing. So a noun phrase is an adjective with the noun. Okay? So the big bus. That's a noun phrase. Yeah? Expanded noun phrase would be more than that. I mean, actually, a noun phrase can just be the bus. That is a noun phrase. Pronoun. Would use pronouns to replace? To replace the noun, to replace a proper noun normally. So if you started off the sentence talking about Fred, you would say, and Fred went to the park, and then Fred went to somewhere else. You would change it to he, she, or they. So they're your pronouns or thing, which does the verb. Okay, which does the verb. So the verb is the doing word, doing or feeling word, isn't it? So the subject is a subject. Often you will say, in sort of older English, the subject talks more about the person. But this could be a person, so it's a person, a noun phrase, a pronoun, or a thing. Alright? So the object is... The object... There's an aeroplane going over, and there's a window. The object is the person, noun, phrase, pronoun or thing, which usually comes directly after the verb. It shows what the verb is acting on. So the subject is the girl playing football. The object is the football. Okay? But the subject's not just a person. Okay? The subject can be a thing as well. But the thing is before the verb, the object is after the verb. So if you can hear it at home, there's an aeroplane going over, which is going quite slowly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's getting closer. Okay, it's loud. Can we see if we can concentrate on this? Okay, in these simple sentences, can you identify the subject and the object of the sentence? So, he sang to me. What's the verb? Let's identify the verb. The verb is the doing thing. What are they doing?
Sang.
Yeah, so sang is the verb. So what's the subject? Remember, the subject comes normally before the verb. It does the thing to the verb.
He.
He, so it's a pronoun. Pronoun, not a pronoun. This is a pronoun, it's a pronoun. Question to myself. He is the subject, sang is the verb, so what is the object? What did the verb do to?
Me.
Me. He, subject, sang, verb, to me. Object. Yeah? This is something you do without realising you do. And then when you break it down, it's quite complicated because it just doesn't, it almost breaks it, stops making sense when you break it down, doesn't it? So, Nicole stared at all the people. So what's the verb? What's the doing thing in that sentence? What's the doing? What's the verb?
Stared.
Stared. So, the subject normally comes before the verb. So, what's the subject? What's the subject? Comes before the verb. On here. Nicole stared at all the people. What's the subject?
Nicole.
Yeah, so Nicole, and that's a proper noun, which is what I got confused about a minute ago. Stared, verb, at all the people. What's the object?
People.
People. Brilliant. Right, go get the last one, all of us. We all love skiing. sentence? You're going to think skiing. Is it skiing?
Would it be love?
I thought love. We all love skiing. So what's the subject?
Is it all?
Is all anything?
No.
So what do you think the subject is? Who's doing the love?
We.
We love. So what do you think the object is?
Skiing.
Skiing? Right, let's see. I'm hoping there's answers on here. That's where it gets confusing. So he is the subject, me, we've got that first one. Nicole and all the people, so it's the noun, it's the phrase on that one. And then we all, yes, we got it right. We all, actually it was we all, not just we. Remember it could be a noun phrase or a pronoun phrase. Love is the verb, skiing is the object. That's when it gets confusing because you think skiing is the verb, don't you? But actually the verb in that sentence was the love. That's what we were all doing. Okay, now sort these simple sentences into the correct places in the table. So, a pronoun is a subject. What's a pronoun? He, she, they. Pronoun is an object, and a pronoun as a subject and object. Whoa. Okay, so the first one. He makes too much noise. So the he is the pronoun. So what's the he there? Is it the subject, the object, or the subject and the object? Have a go. We're going to give it a go. We might be wrong, doesn't matter. We'll find out the answer in the end. Go on then, have a go. What do you think? What's your first reaction?
Subject.
My first reaction was pronoun as a subject. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to click and move these. You're right. Well done. We're just going to hope we do the right one next. He sang to me. The pronoun is he. Is it being used as subject or object or both? We did this one on the last slide.
Is it?
I think it's subject. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's subject. Let's see. Oh, subject and object. I suppose me's a pronoun, isn't it? Well, we didn't think that one through, did we? He sang to me. There is a pronoun as the subject. I was thinking it's the same pronoun as subject. I think I read it wrong. But pronoun as a subject and a pronoun as an object. I was thinking it had to be the same pronoun. So at dinner, Sophie ate it quickly. What's the verb in that sentence?
Quickly.
Do you think? I say quickly is an adverb.
Yeah.
What's the verb is?
Dinner.
What's the verb?
Ate.
Ate. That's what she's doing, isn't she? Ate. Who ate?
Sophie.
Sophie. So Sophie ate it quickly at dinner. What are we going for? Where do you think that's going to go? It's not actually a pronoun, it's a proper noun, isn't it? Sophie is a proper noun. Hello?
Would it go to subject and object?
Yeah, because she's... Yeah, I think you might be right. Let's have a look. No. At dinner, Sophie ate it quickly. It is the pronoun. So it's been the object. It's the dinner, isn't it? She ate it quickly. You were thinking of Sophie, weren't you, as being the subject and the object? Yeah? But it's Sophie at dinner. It doesn't sound right, does it? At dinner, Sophie ate it quickly. I don't think if you read that in your book, I'd probably go, you need to reword that sentence.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound grammatically correct, does it? At dinner, Sophie ate it quickly. Ate what quickly? We don't know what it is, because it says at dinner. It doesn't say Sophie ate her dinner quickly. Do you think the same as me, that it's a bit of a funny sentence? Okay, we'll go for... Do you think Amir's going to be the next one if I click it? So I'm not choosing, when I click they just go. Let's do Amir. Amir gave it to her. So what's the pronoun?
Is it her?
Her, I think it's her. Gave it to her.
Would it be subject?
Okay, what anyone else think?
I think it would be subject and
subject and object? Oh, should we see? I'm not convinced this is going to be the next one when I touch it. Oh, it is. As the object, gave it to her. Yeah? Her. Honestly, I don't like it. This one. Honestly, don't like it. What's the verb? What's the doing in there? Doing or feeling word. Don't forget verbs are doing or feeling words.
Would it be a lie?
Uh-huh. Because honestly is the adverb. Honestly, I don't like it. So the pronoun I
Yeah.
or it. So is it both? Is it subject and object?
Yeah.
Because the subject is I and the object is it. Okay, let's see. Yes. Get in there. It's making sense now more, isn't it? They were always dancing. What's the pronoun? They. Yeah, they is the pronoun. They were always dancing. What's they being used as? Subject or an object? Who is doing it in the sentence? So if they're doing it, they're the subject, aren't they? If it's being done to them, they're the object. So who's doing it? Who's doing the dancing? They. So what's they? Subject? Yay! Sometimes it just takes a while to get the swing, doesn't it? Now we live in Wales. Verb? Live? Pronoun? What's the pronoun in that sentence? Good, well done. I know we did he, she and they, but actually it and we are also pronouns. Now we live in Wales. Where is the we in relation to the verb?
Is it live?
Live's the verb, we's the pronoun. So is the we doing the living?
Live now.
What do you think? What's Wales? We're asking the pronoun. The pronoun you told me is we. We lives the verb in Wales. So what's the we being used as? Subject, object, or both? Or subject? What do you think? Do you have a go? You think it's subject, okay? You were right. Okay. It's quite a long PowerPoint. Okay. Your turn. Pronouns are subjects or objects. Choose a square to reveal a picture. Write a sentence about the picture. Spin the wheel to decide whether you need to use a pronoun for the subject or the object of the sentence. Okay, so we're going to do this and then we're going to do it. We're going to pause the video so that people at home can do it as well. Okay. So we've got a baby. How do I spin? Oh, there. Okay, so you need to make the baby, the pronoun is the subject. So the subject does the verb. So you've got to think what the baby's doing. What is the baby doing? Crawling. So we use crawling as our verb.
Yeah.
So we've got crawling as our verb. Actually, I'm going to write it on this board. So we've got crawling as our verb. Crawling as our verb. So that's our verb. And then we've got the baby is the actual noun phrase. But we're not going to use the baby, we're going to use a pronoun. So you can decide whether the baby is he, she, you might use they. I would say you won't use the word it, because generally you would use one of those pronouns for a person, wouldn't you? It was more of an object, or a thing. Okay.